Hello, my name is Missy Eichinger, and this is project presentation number 2. My project description is an interactive website to persuade users to use certain fats and oils and to eliminate other fats and oils from their diet by giving them the necessary tools to do so. The problem space is the internet floods users with information about health benefits of fats and oils from various unreliable sources. It makes it easy for unreliable sources to construct our conception of important aspects of our lives, like nutrition. Um, these messages come from the information we see online and in the media, from bloggers and people who create things for fun because they have the tools to do so. It's not necessarily always medical professionals. And as a result of this, Americans are scared of fat because they think it's going to make you fat, and just been a negative word all around. So people who do not have a medical or health background need a fun way to learn about a dry topic for their well-being. And it's necessary to have an informational site about the nutritional benefits of fats and oils for consumption and topical use, and also the difference between these oils and how to use them. Overview. The scope is the site attempts to eliminate the confusion of the harms and benefits of certain oils in one place through interactive charts, timelines, pictures, etc. The goal of the site is to develop more conscious consumers of health information and also food in general. I changed the audience a little bit after doing my testing and my digital prototype. I'll tell you why later, but the audience is health conscious individuals who regularly use the internet for health information, and is targeted towards young adults and up in all genders. The outcome is the site should develop a more conscious consumer. Users should be able to identify harmful fats and oils on product labels. They should know the benefits and drawbacks of various fats and oils. They should know what fat is and how it affects the body. Users should also be able to find other reliable sources of information online. Tactics. This site will help users learn about fats and oils by applying the complex information to their daily life. The information should be easy and fun to digest and easy to remember. They should be able to see how they can identify the fats on the groceries that they buy and their toiletries, how to use them in their own kitchen, etc. They should also know the difference between the kinds of fats through interactive and colorful images and icons. So if we go to my first paper prototype and cognitive walkthrough, I did 3 different WordPress sites. The first 2 are just I did different ways of presenting the information to the user. They both have tabs at the top and end with a reference list. And the last one is kind of a community-based website, and it's all on one page. So you can see the label up in the left-hand side, and it has the logo, and then the center will be the description of the site with a picture. And then at the bottom it would be a fact or a poll. Next, the users would go to a page that describes fat in general, and for this one I did a flip card, so once the user scrolls over the card, it'll flip over and give the definition of whatever is on the front side. And there's the second page. And then there is a scale, and it was meant to be colored red and green, and the red are the fats that are not very good for you, and then the green is the healthiest. And once the user scrolls over the circle icons, information will pop up about different fats and oils or foods. So this is avocado or palm oil. And then there's a recipes tab, and you can see a bunch of pictures that they can scroll through, and then they're able to click on that image, and then it will give more details to the recipe, and then the user will be able to share that recipe over here on the side. There's the directions, and then they can also leave comments and rate the recipe. And for my reference list, I wanted to make it a little bit more fun than just a list of words, basically. People aren't necessarily very likely to look at that. So I put pictures of the nutritionists, and I wanted to have, if the users could scroll over it, then a quote from the nutritionist would pop up, so it would give the user a sense of what the nutritionist believes in. So they'll be able to like look through that and choose which one looks more interesting to them. And then there's more references at the bottom. For my second paper prototype, there would be a simple "what is fat" phrase, and then a bunch of different pictures, a collage of pictures, conveying that it's about the consumption of fats and oils, and then a more detailed explanation in words below. Next, the user would go to a statistics page, and there they could participate in a poll where they could click yes, no, or I have no idea. And there's also a timeline where they scroll over and information appears, and it's a comparison between the two. Next, there's the Go Shopping tab, and it would have a product in a grocery store that you typically find, and then once the user scrolls over it, a box will pop up and it'll have the ingredients, and the fats and oils will be highlighted, and to the right side there'll be more information about those oils and what to look out for on nutritional labels. And this is a drag and drop quiz and more references. For paper prototype number 3, it's all on one page, and I would use BuddyPress. So these would be interactive charts, the description over here, and then the social media share buttons. This is just a descriptive graphic, and then there is the discussion forum and another poll. And this is another picture of the discussion forum. So what I tested, I wanted to see if the user could figure out the intention of the site on the first page. This is important because I wanted them to know what it was about, so they would be more likely to look through it. I also wanted to see if they could figure out what fat is and learn about the different types of fats and oils for consumption, because that's the main point of the site. I wanted to see if they could share the information with their friends, or if they knew where to do that, and also if they knew where to find additional resources. What I found was because it's a paper prototype, the main page was a little unclear, so they didn't understand what the site was for most of the prototypes until they went through the site and did some of the activities. The navigation tabs were vague, and the sites were a little bit unorganized, and also some of the information was useless to them, or they didn't retain the information. So that being said, some changes to come are I combined the prototypes and used the best aspects, since they were pretty similar. They're all WordPress sites. I wanted to take out the polls or present polls as just a graphic or an image, because I had a few people tell me that they were not very likely to use polls on a site. It's just something that they look at or scroll past. I would like to have a more descriptive main page, so it'll tell the user exactly what they're about to see and what they're going to get from the website. I would like to have more clear labels and a better organization of the site, and more focused information, since fats and oils is very broad in general. So for my digital prototype, I'll go to the page, and this is the site, and you can see there's 3 tabs, and this would be the opening graphic. It's your guide to healthy fat and oil consumption. It tells you to scroll down, and there's where you'll learn about what fats and oils are with this egg and coconut. And then you'll learn how to cook with fats and oils. and the temperature just goes up on the image for the oil that you're supposed to use it with, and it has a description of where you're supposed to use the oil and what kind of oil. And this is where you learn how to identify fats on product labels. So there's going to be a product, you scroll over it, and the ingredient list will pop up with the fats and oils highlighted, and then there'll be a description of the fats and oils or what to look out for, etc. So down here I put where the information is coming from, received from Know Your Fats and Oils, or Know Your Fats, I'm sorry. And then under here is the share this, so they have the option to share the entire page. And then it says, if you think you've got it all, take the quiz, so you can click that, and then it'll take you to the quiz. And so these are just a few sample questions. And then once you click show the results, it'll give you a description, like more information about why they got it wrong or why they got it right. And then you can go over to the check out these nutritionists page, and I decided to do the same nutritionist page as my first paper prototype. And so there's the quote, and you scroll over and you can click on the image and it'll take you to the nutritionist website. And here's other sources, and you can also share this. So what did I test? For my pre-test, I wanted to obviously find out their age range. I asked their highest amount of schooling, so this would tell me a little bit more about their background and maybe how much they might already know about health and nutrition. I also wanted to know where they typically look first when they have a question about health and nutrition. And so for how educated people feel about fats and oils, that was pretty low at a 2.4, and I thought this was very interesting because one of my users was my sister who has a master's in nursing, so you'd think that she would have a pretty good or feel pretty educated about fats and oils and nutrition, because you could see how educated you feel about health and nutrition in general. The highest ranking is 4. So people don't feel very confident about their education level. For effectiveness on my post-test, I wanted to see how interactive the site was, and the average was pretty high for what people actually told me verbally. The average was 3.6, but a lot of my users told me that they didn't think the site was very interactive, and they were giving me tips for how to make it better. One person even told me they were just trying to be nice, so that probably affected the average. The memorability, I felt that I retained the information after I finished doing the site. That was very low, so people didn't feel that they retained the information or they didn't know what to do with it after they read what was on the site. For safety, I asked if they felt like the information on the site was credible, and the average was 3.8, which is a little bit high, I thought, for just me giving them a website about fats and oils, being a comm student. And then when I asked while viewing the site, I looked for credentials and no one said yes. So changes to come. I want to incorporate maybe some more games, more memorability games, to make sure that the users are retaining the information that they're seeing on the site, or maybe it'll show them that this information is important, so they'll be more likely to retain it. I want to have predicted questions and answers, because a lot of users, basically everyone, uses the internet when they have a quick question about health or nutrition. So maybe you put some questions that people may typically ask and then some answers to make it more easy to view. I also want to put more emphasis on the sources. I'll do this maybe by highlighting nutritionists throughout the different sections on the site, so maybe incorporate their credentials into the interactive by putting this person said this or this came from this source, because I want people to place some more importance on the credentials. And obviously more aesthetics. I want to make the site look better. Alright, so that was what I have so far. Thank you so much.